Good morning. Welcome to episode 3 of That Morning Cup. Cheers. So, today's going to be a little bit of a more depressing type episode because the topic's going to be pretty deep. So, I think. And I'm not getting on here. I want to preface this whole thing by I'm not getting on here just to whine, bitch, and moan. I am a grown man. I can handle myself. It's just I want to just talk about what happened the past couple days, which might arguably be the worst week of my adult life. It's definitely the worst week I've had in a long time mentally. I don't know what even happened. I had such a good weekend, and then I don't even know if it was Sunday or Monday. Mentally, I just started to not feel super great, and I'm filming this Thursday, which I have these every once in a while, where I'll have a day where I just want to rot in bed all day, and usually I could fight through it, and I do pretty good. But Monday, Tuesday, and even yesterday were not good times. I just had no will to do anything. I became super introspective. I just thought of everything that has ever happened in my life. I rethought every conversation. Then I think about what I want the future to be like. I just think and think and think and think, and it's almost crippling. And I think about everything that's happened, everything that is could happen, is going to happen, what I want from life. Am I doing what I want to do? Um, am I working hard enough? Am I working effectively enough? Then just self doubt was creeping in those past 3 days, and I'm feeling some residuals today. But I just was determined. I'm like, okay, you had 3 days to just sulk and lay down and you know not be super mentally strong. But now we just have to continue to move forward. Um, yeah, it was a tough couple days. It's like a mix of fear, aggravation, sadness, all balled into one, and it becomes overwhelming. And yesterday, I got up and just ran about a mile and a half, just fast, uh, and then came back and went straight back to my bed, showered, laid right back down. And if I wasn't in my bed, I was at my desk just watching YouTube, just wasting time. I did go to a coffee shop yesterday morning and read for about 2 hours. But after that, it was downhill. But Monday and Tuesday were terrible. I mostly Tuesday. Tuesday was terrible. I didn't do anything. I read my 10 pages. I think I read 11 pages. Um, and I just sat. I literally laid in my bed from 2:30 in the afternoon till the next morning. Which, if anybody knows anything about me, or if you have any idea of who I am, you know that is super duper unlike me, extremely unlike me. I usually don't lay in my bed unless, not usually. I genuinely don't lay in my bed unless I'm going to bed or I'm sick, and I lay down at 2:30 and kind of just gave up and sat there and thought. And it aggravates me because I feel like I'm on such a good consistency. I'm just on a good roll, and I feel like that negates all the work that I've done, which isn't true. I'm trying to change my mental narrative here, because I've been working extremely hard the past. I mean, I haven't had a day like that probably since high school, um, where I just scrolled my phone, or well, not the scroll on my phone part, but where I was sulking that hard. But I haven't had that in probably 2 years, where I just sat and scrolled my phone in my bed. But yesterday or Tuesday, I did that for sure. But I feel like it just negates everything, and it doesn't. It does not negate all the work I've done up to this point. It's just it happens. Knock on wood. I've been fortunate enough to not have to deal so much with physical injuries as setbacks, right? But I definitely will, from time to time, suffer from mental setbacks, and I need to keep that concept and that realization in front of me and keep it aligned with my way of thinking, because I need to understand that how many people have physical setbacks in life, sicknesses. They tear their shoulder, chest. I mean, the back. They when they're trying to achieve goals, fitness wise, whatever. How many times do people have to take a couple weeks off because of something physical? And my girlfriend has been running 30 miles a week for friggin' forever. And the past couple months have been tough for her because of her knee. She messed up her knee. And just like in and out of the doctors, and in New York State trying to get an MRI. I don't know if this is anywhere else, but in New York State to try to get an MRI is terrible, bro. It's terrible. You got to do 1,000. Like literally, she went to get X-ray 2 months ago or something. Then you get the MRI. Then you have to wait. Like it's a whole nightmare. But she knew it wasn't anything in her bones, so she's like, I don't need an X-ray. I need an MRI. They're like, well, for insurances, I'm rambling, but she's been dealing with that, and I just thought like, okay, I have all the faith in her that she's gonna make a good comeback. I mean, it's inevitable. She's Matea, right? There's no way that she's gonna just like fall off from running forever now. And already she's making crazy strides and back to running good. But I was like, why do I not have that same self confidence in myself? And mine isn't months and months. Mine was 2 days of just mental turmoil. It's like, so I it just throws everything off, and I'm a failure now because of that. But I think that's how we're hardwired, especially if you're, how do I word this? Especially if you have that predetermined and just something in your brain that's hardwired for work, and you want as much success as you possibly can. You're so scared of not achieving it that you think any little thing is going to completely throw it all off and cause you to fail. And you think, if I'm not consistent forever, I'm a failure. And it's like, no, it goes in waves. Like, it's not just a linear path upwards in life. Nothing's a linear path upwards. So you have those days. And I could feel it kind of coming because reading was getting pretty hard, which is rare. And I was struggling to sit down and read. And my brain was just very distractible. And I was like, this ain't good. But so yesterday wasn't a total failure. I ran like a mile and a half, and I sat in the coffee shop for about 2 hours of reading. I was there for maybe like 2.5 hours. So it wasn't a complete failure. Tuesday was a complete and utter travesty. Didn't do anything. Didn't even almost eat hardly. Just laid in bed. And Monday was like, that was kind of the turning point. But now it's Thursday. We're back on the horse. I'm excited to go to the gym. I think there's good to be taken from days like that. And it just reassures you, like, you have the ability to pull yourself out of it. Which Tuesday I genuinely was like, I'm not. My girlfriend was trying to like inspire me and help me out in that, and I was not super friendly. And even yesterday I was not super friendly. And I genuinely, like, on Tuesday was like, I can't get up out of this bed. I have no will to even fucking live. Felt like a lot of just dark, nasty, weird thoughts. But we move past that, and the silver lining is you have the ability to get up, and it's okay sometimes to be nice to yourself. That's one thing Matea said to me yesterday was, give yourself grace, be kind to yourself. And my default setting when I'm starting to feel weakness creep in is to just try to hammer it out of me. With adding more to the schedule, more running, more lifting. You got to go harder now. No, this isn't the time to fucking lay down. This is time to get up and go even harder. Just absolutely break this bitch out of you, this weakness out of you. And then Matea said something. She said, be kind to yourself yesterday, or be easy on yourself. And I was like, wow. Yeah, like that's not too bad. And now here I am, and it's the next day, and I feel a lot better. I was kind of myself last night. I'm like, all right, dude, be a bum, sulk, just get to bed, but get up and let's try to be refreshed tomorrow and start brand new. And I did that. I felt good. Now I have like more, residual feelings today of, I think it's kind of, it's like a hangover almost when you have really bad days like that. Like it takes a couple days to completely flush out your system, but hopefully we've turned a corner. And Mateo was a huge help with that. I don't think moving forward, if I have days like that, my response is going to be, which I think maybe it will naturally be like that, but I don't think it should stay like that, is just be even harder on myself when I'm going through it. It's okay to sulk. It's okay sometimes to, I mean, not, don't like, if you have addictions and that, don't like relapse on addictions. Like, oh, I feel sad today, I'm going to relapse and drink or do whatever, But I think I've said this a while back. It's okay to some days like do nothing as long as you're not negatively affecting something, right? Um, I mean, this is the most extreme example possible. But say like you're an alcoholic, for example. You've gone weeks and weeks and weeks without drinking. You gave up drinking. You're trying to be on the straight and narrow, right? And you're trying to exercise, trying to do all these things. It's okay to have a day where you miss your workout. Um, you don't read as much as you want. You don't take care of the things that you want to do. The I call them like the additives of life. I don't think it's like super essential technically. Like you don't have to read. And technically you don't like have to go to the gym, and you'll survive, you'll live, but you won't thrive. So I call those additives. Although they're essential to me, and I think they should be essential to everybody, but you don't technically need them to survive. But say you're an alcoholic, and you haven't drank in a couple weeks, and you've been going to the gym consistently, you've been reading, you've been journaling, all this. You wake up a day, you feel horrendous. You mentally, you're in turmoil, you're in this dark place, and you don't want to go out to the gym, you don't want to journal, you don't want to read. That's fine for that day. Don't do those things, but also don't do something that is negative, like going back to drinking, or in my case, when I was on my cut, or even now just eating healthy, living healthy lifestyle, period. If there's a day like that, Tuesday, where I seriously just like didn't want to even live, um, that sounds extreme, but if there's days like that, uh, what I'm not going to do is grab chips and ice cream and get in bed. And it's okay to be at zero. Don't go to negative, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain that. I talked about it a few months ago. Um, but it's like I didn't go to the gym. I didn't run. Well, yesterday I ran, but Tuesday I didn't run. I didn't go to the gym. But I also didn't sit in bed and just stuff my face with all this shitty food and, make myself feel even worse. I just was like, all right, if I'm going to lay in bed, I'm just going to lay in bed. I'm going to watch my phone. I'm not going to sit here and, as me and Mateo call it, go to the trough. We call Chipotle the trough. She called it that. Girl's got 6-pack abs and talking about the trough. I'm like, no, I was seriously at the trough at one point when I was a young buck. But yeah, I'm. This is a transformative year, I think, mentally. Last year was just getting the work done and the consistency done, and understanding that I'm capable of pushing out volume of work with nothing in return, and doing it purely just because I want to do it, and understanding that, and just understanding consistency, yada yada yada, working when I don't feel like working, etc. This year we're gonna figure out this a little bit better, and figure out how to not be so hard on myself while also pushing the gas. Though that's like I hate talking about like balance and that, because like I don't know. I think I'm also just gonna give up on balance again, if that makes sense. This was like such a good self-help talk, and I'm talking about fuck balance again. I just don't know if I'm even capable of it. I really don't think I am. I think it's all or nothing. Which is extreme, but I just can't enjoy like a balanced life. I'm not there yet. Um, I don't think I'm capable of it, and I think there's always time in the day to squeeze a little something in. I'm not talking about I'm gonna go back to where I was lifting 7 days a week. Like when I was in high school, I was lifting before school, after school. Like I was lifting like 14 times a week. That's not good. But there's always time to get like 200 push-ups in or something, some pages in. I just think I need to go back to the extreme and stop trying to worry about balance and allow balance to just happen. Like this Saturday, we have a little family party for my aunts that are retiring and all that. So that's gonna be my little balance. I could mingle, but I could also get it in beforehand, or I can make sure I'm getting it in afterward, not afterhand. So balance, I think, is out the window for 2026 again. Well, maybe we'll worry about balance in 2027. I also don't really have to balance that much because I don't really like talk to many people. So I don't know why I'm over here at I need all this balance. Like, yeah, I need all this balance. I got a lot of people. I got, hands to shake and babies to kiss. I really don't talk to anybody. So, like, balance for what? Myself? I'm okay not being balanced. I'll be balanced like my girlfriend and a select few people in my family. But I have maybe like 10 people I got to be balanced for. And the good thing about that is, like, there's like 4 people that I could think of, or 5 people that I can think of, and if I'm being balanced for one of them, I'm probably being balanced for all of them because I'm seeing them all at the same time. And then like there's these 2 people, then there's like, so it's not like I have 10 separate people. It's like little pockets. So really, I only have to be balanced for like 5 little groups or something. I have like Mateo and these. So that's 2. Yeah, it's like 5 groups. And typically, there's like I can knock out 7 people being balanced with them in like one event, which is sick. So balance is out. Balance is out. I have a sister in fucking Asia right now. So like I don't really got to be balanced for her. And she doesn't come back for months. So shout out Ran. Also didn't have to buy you a Christmas gift this year either. That was stellar. That was awesome. Did you buy me a Christmas gift? I don't know. Probably. And don't expect one when you get home neither, because it will not be here. Yeah. Making this video made me feel a lot better already. The mood has picked up exponentially since I hit the record button. It was a slow morning, mentally, but we're done being See, I was almost just mean to myself there. I was gonna say we're done being a bitch, which it's not being a bitch. It's being human and having some setbacks from time to time and just some slip ups. Not a slip up. It's not a slip up. It's just an obstacle. Okay. And I want to say bitch, and I'm done being a bitch, but I'm not. I'm done being sorry for myself, and I'm going to continue to move forward here. Obviously, because like, what's the alternative? Just lay in that bed for the rest of my life until I freaking rot away, which some days would be pretty nice, but we're not going to do that. I'm excited. Yeah, I had a lot of time to think. So that was like one of the positives that came out of it. 2 positives. I had a lot of time to think, and also like kind of ignited the fire again, which I think will burn for a while, and then inevitably that's gonna happen probably again, and then then I get back on the horse, and then again, gonna fall off the horse a couple times. But as long as we're not killing the horse after we fall off, now that's the analogy I was looking for earlier. You could fall off the horse as long as you just tie the horse up and just lay on the ground next to him, and then when it's time, you get back on him. Don't fall off the horse and then blame the horse and then kill the horse. That gets you nowhere, because now you got to find a new horse. That was the analogy. Yep. But I had a lot of time to think. And I just like think some nasty thoughts sometimes of like, is everything a lie? Da 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 da. Not like I'm not harmful thoughts of me or anybody. Just mean thoughts towards myself. You know, I had very bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-doubt on Tuesday. It was kind of like the week leading up to it. I was getting inklings of it. And then like Tuesday, it really just consumed me. Self-doubt about everything. I'm like, man, am I even capable of achieving like anything in my life? And my goal, like my serious one desire goal that I want to achieve in life is to inspire as many people as I possibly can. I want to make a difference, like a genuine, tangible difference in the world, and do something bigger than myself. I feel that like in my heart and in my just my body. That is like I don't care about money. Obviously, money's nice. Being able to take care of my family would be sweet. But at the end of the day, I want to be known as somebody that made like a genuine change, whether it was like in one person's life or multiple people's lives or millions of people's lives. I don't know. My goal in my dream is to inspire people. And the past like week, I've had just serious self doubt. I'm like, why would I inspire anybody? Am I even capable of that? Like, I'm just an average fucking person, which I don't totally not believe. I believe I'm a pretty average person, and I'm trying to figure out how I can become not average to inspire people. But that's what time. And I like got to thinking about the YouTube stuff and that for a while. And I'm like, man, I've been doing this for so long, and it's going nowhere. It's like maybe it's not in my cards. But at no point, which was reassuring, was at no point did I think, well, I'm going to just quit then. I'm just going to stop filming. I'm going to stop making videos, all that. It just, I came to the realization that I might do this for 10 years and go nowhere with it. But that's okay because I enjoy doing it. Yeah, a lot of self-doubt creeped in. There was definitely a little bit of comparison, kind of. Not with like anyone in particular, just like people in the world that achieved things that I know are not as, how do I word this, that are not as capable as me. Like they kind of just fell into it and it happened accidentally. And that was like bugging me. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not fair. I just had like really weak thoughts. But then I was inevitably watched a lot of Metallica last night at my dad's, or two nights ago. What's today? Today's Thursday. So why did I go to my dad's yesterday? So Monday night must have been my terrible night. Yeah, Monday night I laid in bed at 2 o'clock because Tuesday I didn't do shit. I read a little bit, but then I went to my dad's and we sat in the garage and watched Metallica, and that always heals the soul. And I take tremendous inspiration from them. And I mean they were degenerates, and they've inspired the world. They did just astronomically crazy things, you know. They left their mark. And then I was watching Dead Poet Society in bed, and Robin Williams says something, I forget what the exact quote is, that the 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 poem of life or the play of life is constantly going on right now, and it's like we can contribute our own verse. And then he says to his class, Mr. Keating says to his class, what will your verse be? And that kind of ushered in some self-doubt, like, man, my verse is not going to be anything. But then also some motivation and inspiration, like, yeah, I have to make a verse. That's not a choice. It's something that I feel inside myself, like literally burning all the time. That's like, I want my verse to be powerful. I want to get my verse to as many people as I possibly can. It's just like I need to figure out exactly what my verse is first. I don't know. That's gonna be the end of this. Thank you for listening to me. I'm not gonna say bitch. I'm not gonna say whine. I'm not gonna say cry. Vent. And I know I'm not singular when I talk about this. I'm not the only person that deals with this. I mean, I'm blessed enough to where I could pull myself out of it, and I have loved ones around me. Shout out Matea, because you're really the only one I talk to about it. I have Matea that could help me and open my eyes in that to get me out of that hole. And I know there's people that go through that. I mean, for months and years, they go through that type of turmoil. So I'm grateful that mine's only like sporadic, and it doesn't stretch for just weeks and weeks and weeks or months and months or years, you know. So, to a new beginning, to hopping back on the horse. That's going to conclude episode 3. I'm going to go get another cup of coffee and hit. Oh, actually, I Epictetus, I'm about 80 pages in. Real quick before I close this out, I'm about 80 pages in. It's definitely a difficult read. Understanding it fully isn't super difficult. Like the grammar or the words in that aren't difficult, but the concepts sometimes are a little not super difficult to understand, but to retain. So I'm at like page 80. I plan to have that done this weekend, like by Sunday or maybe next Monday. And then I don't know if I'm going to jump right to Thus Spoke Zarathustra, because I also bought, I bought Man's Search for Meaning, I bought Travels with Charlie, and the Book of Five Rings. So I might hit one of these quick before I get into Thus Spoke Zarathustra, because like I'm really jonesing to read Travels with Charlie, because I wanted this book for a while. It's a Steinbeck book. And I'm like terrible at ordering stuff online. I don't know if anybody else is like that. I have this like weird thing in my brain where it's like, oh, I don't want to wait for it to come in. So I just never order it when it's like, okay, you just order it and eventually it's going to come in. And it's like, if you order books, like that's the only thing I really order online anymore is books from eBay. And like I don't order anything. I'm so bad at it because I don't want to wait. But it's like, whether you order it and wait for it or you don't order it, like either way the days are going to go on. So why wouldn't you just order it? But I went to a little bookstore. It's a used bookstore. And I was in there I wanted to get For Whom the Bell Toll by Ernest Hemingway. And I saw this, and I wanted this for a really long time. It's about Steinbeck traveling across America with his dog Charlie. And then I saw this, The Book of Five Rings, which I've heard about constantly. And then Man's Search for Meaning I saw, which I've heard about obviously constantly. So I might crack into one of these before I get into Thus Spoke Zarathustra. But that's going to conclude the video. I hope your guys' coffee was delicious. Mine was fantastic. Almost done here. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will talk to you next Friday. Peace.